Hey and welcome back to my Plus route series. Today we are looking at Algeth'ar Academy. Okay, so this is the Puck non-advanced route. We are basically going into the first pull, we are pulling the entire room, so this is one of the most difficult tank pulls, and you usually want to dispel your tank the bleeding as the evoker at like 5 stacks. And then there's like some strategy where you like look for the tank to like go through his incount first. So basically he will ping you when he wants the dispel, and this can mean that it sometimes can go up to like 6 stacks. But in general, what I would do in a pack is be on the safer side and dispel at 5 stacks. And then there's an additional tag you can do if you play with a pre-made tank like I do. He sometimes calls for the rescue. So for example, he's standing on this like fly pack in the visual now, and then I would like move him with rescue like over here, and all of the mobs would like walk to him then, and so he can reset his bleeding stacks as well. But in general, this is not needed. If you do it right and you dispel correctly, it should be when the first of the vile lashes is down, and then he basically cannot stack up with only 2 of them being up. In the Puck non-advanced route, we assume that you don't have any CC, and you just pull the first room entirely, clear it, and then pull the first boss. So there's no funnel in the boss. We will see that this is important in the more advanced routes, but for the Puck route, this is like a safer option, or you at least it's an option that you can use where you need to assume that you don't have the perfect setup with like CC for these ads and stuff like that. Next up, you play the small mini boss, the elemental, the wind elemental, and afterwards you go into the bird pull. You can easily use CDs on this pull, by the way, so there's no need to like hold CDs for this. You use it, and then you can recover your CDs either in this pack or, for example, as an evoker, I can breath this one once, and then I recover my breath over the duration while we kill it, and then I can use it on the first pack again. There are 3 bird packs. On the first pack, again, use what you have. For me, breath usually is up for each pack. If I do it correctly, if I spread my bombardments correctly, I should get breath up on a 21 for the next pack. And then in this pack, we have like one of these alpha eagles, and they do like an AoE, the Raging Screech, which needs to be either defensive or you like on a 21 you should get away as an evoker to like just hover it and you'll be fine. In the next pack you have 2 of these eagles, and they are slightly desynced on their Screech, but still if you are not full HP you cannot survive this. So I would use Zephyr on this on the eagles. But in general, again, I send my CD, which is around a 55-second cooldown with CDR on each of these packs, and then I should, if I do it correctly, have it back up for the boss pull. On the boss, use it on pull, obviously, and then there's like tech for this boss. You need to put in the orbs like, I think it's around 6.5 seconds before the cast goes through, and this would be the perfect moment to edge out as much of the damage that is possible on a boss that is like basically stunned or immobile while doing his cast. So yeah, 6.5 I think is correct, and if you want to be on the safer side, you can easily do 7. For the fire phase, we do it in a way that we like put in orbs in the fire thingy, like 2 of them, while the wind phase is being filled. So then only 1 orb needs to be put into the fire thing, and this can easily be done by the tank. So for the real strong damage intermission where like the boss is stunned and gets increased damage, all of your DPS can like hit the boss and prepare their stuff, and Demon Hunter can go into meta and stuff like that. So yeah, in general, you should use the strat where you like put in 2 in fire. This is usually done by the tank and the healer, and the other 3 DPS will put in the orbs into wind on the first one, and then on the second one the tank can add the 3rd orb into fire. Again, like 6 or 7 seconds before the cast ends. And then you use all, obviously you use everything in the burn, and then blast the boss so that it dies before it kills you. Okay, then after Craft is dead, you move back to this like island, and then you can jump to this one, and you can go to the side over here and like jump down to the like the dirt thing in the academy, and from this position you can your tanks should obviously lead this, and he will pull everything towards like these middle section of the bridge. And if you as a DPS and healer, you stand below this like Ravager mob, and if your tank is like far enough away, he will get the jump from the Ravager and baits it onto the bridge, so that you have like a stack pull where you can like kill everything. From here on out, you basically play it safe. You split the pull on Veximus, you pull these two sides and then the small foragers into it, and then the third pack is done with the Ravager and the other two smallies. You can add the two smallies to the boss as well. This depends on what you need for funnel and team comp and stuff like that. Pull 10, pretty simple. You pull the two remaining foragers onto the bridge. You can obviously do this with the Ravager as well. This will be shown in the advanced route, but this is usually a bit safer, the pull, because there are two like kicks on this one, so two interrupts need to be done here, but there's only like one book, same as this pack. So the Unruly textbook can usually be done with CC from the tank alone, and then you can stack everything on top of this pull, and then 2 DPS like interrupt the mana fiends, and then it's fine. And there's only one battle axe, so your tank should be fine on this pull, compared to the bridge pull where you have like more battle axes, which is like more difficult for the tank to live. Since we are playing the non-advanced route, we assume we can't skip. So we play pull 11, which is like the two casters and the smashy boy on the stairs. Personally, I prefer it if the tank pulls down the Echo Knight towards the casters and you play it below. I see many strats where they like pull it up, and I kind of don't like it, especially since if your Monk Healer, for example, stands over here and aims his Jade Firestorm towards the middle, and the pet is currently in this position, he might add this group with the Jade Firestorm, stuff like that, can just ruin your pull. So, in my opinion, if you like want to do it completely safe and you are playing in a park where you don't know the people, it is better to like pull the Echo Knight down the stairs and play it over here. The next pull is usually, in my opinion, done best by the tank pulling these guys a bit back. You kick once, you bait all of the shit over here, and then your DPS is, while you do this, your DPS is like moving in this direction while DPSing, obviously, and then they go inside for the smashers already, and then you pull all of the stuff in. Remember that you need to make sure that this guy is interrupted and ideally gripped, if you have a DK, to come with you. Interrupt is enough, but in general, it's obviously better to have a DK that is gripping it twice. So once to the entrance and then inside, that it doesn't add the patrol. So, and then you play the end boss. All right, so this is the Park non-advanced route. It's pretty simple. I think many of you have played this kind of route during like your +10s and stuff like that. Now we are looking at the warrior route for a brief moment. What is changing for the warrior route is that you need like a lot of funnel for your arms warrior. You do that by you're routing or like CCing this Skitterfly pack in the back towards the bridge where you jump to the wind elemental, and the other Skitterflies are routed at the entrance. Basically, if you sprint from the start of the instance and you drive by your buff and you sprint right here, then it is possible they are coming from this direction in this moment, and you can like either ring them with what is it called, like Ring of Peace, and you can incap them or you can root them at the entrance right here. This is usually done to prevent them from like roaming the room, and if you CC them like here and the other patrol like over here, then you can like pull the entire stuff to the middle and you don't add these two patrols. And then that means that you have like 6 mobs into the first boss, which is actually quite good for the warrior. Rest of the round is not changing too much. There's like a spicy pull that you can do on Veximus where you have like these two foragers, and then the back two ones are pulled while the patrol is on this side. So basically your tank pulls these while the patrol is on the other side, and then he tanks them right here, and then either your healer or like, for example, your mage, stuff like that, like a range class, will just like hit them with an ability, and then they will walk like this way, and then come up, and then you don't have to pull the Ravager. You can do this as well by just playing the Ravager in one of these packs and splitting the pull. So basically you would play these two together and then play the Ravager in this pull, and then you have these 4 standing, and you can pull them into Veximus for funnel for the Arms Warrior. So this is just a bit of warrior tech. It's not 100% needed, but it just helps a bit to increase the DPS. As far as I know, the DPS from an Arms Warrior goes from around like 90, 95k single target DPS to like 130 or something by just having like funnel, like actual DPS hitting the target. I don't play with Warrior, so this is everything I collected while playing in packs and talking to people who actually play with Warriors. It's just like a bit of Warrior tech that is possible in an Academy. We actually play the advanced route. What we do is we CC one of the packs. I think in our 20 clear that we did just today, we routed them like somewhere at this side, and we pulled all of the stuff up top. And then the first pack was actually like pulled by the tank. So they walked through here, and then we like pulled them and went up and played them. So we do this that our Demon Hunter and me as an evoker can like create resources, or I spread my bombardments to recover my breath faster, which is actually quite nice for this boss, so that I can sometimes get even our 2 duplicates out. And then the rest of the dungeon is basically the same as the pack route for now, except for the pull 7. So on pull 7, the Veximus pull, you usually split up this pull, and you don't pull the whole room, especially if you don't use lust. Or I should talk about lust timings actually. So you lust the first pull, obviously. You lust the damage phase on Craft, and then we lust pull 10. But more often than not, people will actually lust either the last boss or like if the last timing doesn't work out for Craft, they sometimes lust this pull as well. But we don't lust this pull, so we need to like solve the issue of syncing the textbooks. How do we do that? So our tank gathers the entire pull. So we walk up from the bridge, we pull these foragers, we gather the entire pull, then I breath over it, it is stunned, and then I will do a fully charged up upheaval, a knock up to sync the entire pull, and then we let the textbooks cast through. None of them will go on the tank, so there are 4 textbooks. They will stun the 4 players except for the tank, and then our druid tank roars and interrupts the cast by them, and then they don't cast for a few seconds. So this just makes the pull a lot easier if you like sync it up. This is like a very tank heavy damage pull. There are a lot of battle axes, so in general your tank should have a few defensives up, like Incarn or stuff like that. And then you like basically blast this pull as fast as you can. Yeah, then we have funnel for Veximus, again for the Demon Hunter and me as T-Evoker to recover my bombardments, and for the Demon Hunter to already like build up meta while we wait for the boss to spawn, because Veximus has like a spawning animation. And then this pull 9 is actually a bit tricky sometimes, because the tank needs to kite at some point, because there's so many tank damage adds like battle axes and stuff. And then it's sometimes a bit hard for the DPS to actually stick to the Ravager and do priority damage on the Ravager while cleaving down the rest. So this pull can be a bit spicy, and you don't often enough you're not have recovered all of your CDs because you used them on the Veximus. So yeah, this can sometimes be a bit spicy. Then after this pull, you usually want to make sure that you recover your CDs, but you do a skip. We do the Evoker skip, which means I will hover into this wall and then slide above the rocks, basically to this point where I'm standing on the edge of the rocks, and then the people will go onto the multi-seat mount, and I will like rescue them over the wall. So this is like the strat that you do to skip these 2 casters because they are annoying. The tank will, in our case, is a druid, will stealth through this. We'll go over here, we'll route the patrol, like ideally in the back, and then we'll pull will pull the Echo Knight on the stairs, and then this and all of these. And then we will move to this location where the group actually stands, like G29. And then we will bait the first set of like swirlies on the ground. And then we move a bit, we bait the second set, and then we move inside. And this is actually usually the point where we in-cap the rooted target. So from the patrol, the one that is rooted will be in-capped from our monk. And then we grip the other caster into the pack and play it. In our case, we had so much time left in the 20 that we did that we actually decided to like play it to finish it completely. So we killed it, and then we pulled the second caster and gripped it with double grip inside into the boss, and we play it in the boss. This is again to do a bit of funnel for the Demon Hunter and for me to reset my breath faster with bombardments. So this is everything I can tell you about Academy. There are a few spots where you can, like, there's a tech you can do. You can obviously bleeding the spell on the first pull as an evoker. You can bleeding the spell some of the tech from the birds, like the not tech, the I don't know what it is called when they like pick you with their thingies and the tank is bleeding. You can dispel it as an evoker. You can dispel the tank hit on Krath as an evoker. This is the bleeding as well. You kind of need to look at this pull as a tank. It's one of the more difficult tank pulls in the dungeon. Same goes for pull 6 actually. This is actually quite spicy for our tank, so he often enough uses like ring from the monk and my knockups, knockbacks and stuff like that to keep distance towards the battle axes because they actually do quite a lot of tank damage. And we have 4 of them in this pull, so it's actually quite a difficult tank pull. And then I already told you about the tech that we used to do pull 7. Yeah, it is a spicy dungeon. There's a lot of stuff you need to do right. And you actually need to do it right to succeed on the timer. Because Academy has one of the tightest timers from all of the dungeons. It was increased by 1 minute since you no longer do the evoke attack where you pulled like the first set of birds onto the wind guy. This used to be a thing, and this would like obviously save you one pull, like the first pull on the birdies. This is no longer a thing, so the timer was increased by 1 minute, and this means that it's still quite tight. It's a bit more forgiving, but basically, if you want to time this on like 21 with normal people and not insanely best DPS in the world, you need to play it quite clean and actually with no death usually. And on 22, it will be absolutely a no death run and a perfect run to succeed in this dungeon. So, yeah. I hope I was able to explain a bit of the stuff to you. Obviously, feel free to comment below if you have more questions about it, and I will try to answer them as good as I can. Yeah, I hope it helps you on your Algeth'ar Academy adventures. If so, it would be nice if you like and subscribe, and I see you in the next one. Bye bye.